I want to know, what are the thoughts in your head? Who are you helping with your hands? And what is the posture of your heart? All these elements are absolutely essential to attain a plentiful harvest. Today on In the Mix, let's talk about part 2 of Healing is Your Harvest. How to be faithful and fruitful. Oh, I'm mic'd up. Join me and let's mix it up. What's good people? How you doing? How you living? How's it going? What's happening? I hope you are doing well. Oh yeah, want to welcome you to another edition of In the Mix. I'm yours truly, Dr. Eddie, your host with the most, and I need you to hit the thumbs up button on this video. Come on, family, hit the thumbs up button. And then also hit the subscribe button as well. Be sure to share this. Come on, share if you care. You're here because you care, so I need you to share. Share this with somebody. Your timeline could literally be someone's lifeline. You know how we do it, family. We're going to have a conversation of illumination, but I do need you to pay the light bill. Yeah, drop some light bulb emojis in the chat. Yeah, drop some light bulb emojis in the chat. Let's light it all the way up. Let's brighten it up in here. Come on, let's turn the lights all the way on. We too lit to quit. We're going to stay lit. Why? Because we are the light of the world. And today, we're going to spotlight. We're going to highlight part 2 of our topic entitled Healing is Your Harvest, How to Be Faithful and Fruitful. As I said before the other day, talking about this particular topic, I said the day that you plant the seed is not the same day that you're going to eat the fruit. And between the implementation and the manifestation, it's a process. There's a lot of preparation, but it can't move into a place of stagnation just because it hasn't happened yet. I need you to hear me. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen at all for you. Oh, come on, family. Just type not yet. Just type not yet. Just type not yet. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I hope it's you. Matter of fact, I know it's you. I want to speak to you and let you know that your not yet is greater than your right now. I can end the live right now. Just off of that. Yeah, your not yet is greater than your right now. Come on, I need you to be looking in the future, not just focusing on what's going on right now, presently. Don't allow your present circumstance to blind you to your destined future that God has for you. Come on, you can't give up. You can't throw in the towel. You can't let go of the rope of hope. You can't quit. You got to stick to it. You got to have some stick-to-itiveness. Here it is. Come on, how are you handling your harvest? Family, just type it's harvest time. Just type it's harvest time. Listen, you got to stick to it in the midst of the pain. You got to stick to it in the midst of the disappointment. You got to stick to it in the midst of the frustration. You got to stick to it in the midst of the rage. You got to stick to it in the midst of the place to where it seems like your emotional intelligence is kind of teetering and tottering. And yeah. It's tempestuous. There's a lot of trials and some tribulations and some situations. You got to stick to it in the midst of the pain, because here it is. Just because it's painful right now doesn't mean that it's not going to be purposeful later. In the midst of what it seems like you taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps backward, I know what it's like. in the midst of the enemy, in many cases, playing psychological mind games and tricks on your mentality, hear me, you got to uproot the negativity. We got to do that. Listen, you're tuned in right now to our channel for change, our channel that creates change, our channel that breaks change, not so that you can remain the same. Something got to change. Something got to change. Something's got to give. Something's got to happen. Something's got to shift. When you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at change. You got to shift your perception, your perspective. The Bible says this. Oh, I got to get my mind together. Why? Because whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are virtuous, whatsoever things of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, here's what you got to do. You have to think on these things. And hear me, if you're going to think, it might as well be big. Family, just type think big. Type think big. Think big about your school system. Think big about your community. Think big about your education. Think big about your degree. Think big about your relationships. Think big about your business. Think big about your ideas. Think big about your impact. Think big about your influence. Think big about the legacy you're going to leave. Think big about your children. Think big about your family. Think big about who it is that God created you to be. Why? Because somebody's waiting for you to become who you are so they can become who they're supposed to be. Here's the question. How much longer will you make them wait? Oh, the wait is over. Come on, family. Just type that. The wait is over. The wait is over. The wait is over. Now is the time. Here's the time. I got to cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. If you think little of yourself, you're going to do little for yourself and other people. But if you think much of yourself, you're going to do much for yourself and other people as a result. Come on. Thinking much of yourself is not so much about you being cocky. It's about you being confident of this very thing, that he that hath begun a good work and you shall perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. That's what it says. I had to think big about myself and think big about what God gave me to where I said, listen, I'm going to look for partnerships. I'm going to look for opportunities. Yeah, even as a pastor, but I'm going to go beyond just the four walls of the church to inculcate and infiltrate myself in the community. So guess what? I started looking for opportunities. And lo and behold, as I was looking for opportunities were looking for me. Oh, come on. I'm going to speak over your life in this season as you adopt the reason, as you move forward by faith, as you're looking for opportunities. Opportunities are going to be looking for you. You're not just looking for a blessing. You're looking to be a blessing. And because you're looking to be a blessing, blessings are looking for you. Woo! I'm talking better than you typing back to me. And so here it is. As I was looking to be a blessing in the community, as I was looking to partner with other individuals in the community, stumbled up on here it is, a blessing, an opportunity, and a partnership that was literally right around the corner from my church. Come on, family. I just need you to hear me, that the blessing is right under your nose. The blessing isn't about 500, 5,000, 5 million miles away. It's within walking distance. That's where it was. And lo and behold. So I was just looking to say, how can I serve? Began to talk to some people. They said, listen, we're feeding the community on X amount of days. We would be looking for some support. I said, your support is right here. Say less. You just tell me where to be when I need to show up. And not only am I coming, I'm bringing people with me. And that's what we do each and every single Wednesday, right before we do our right before we do the In the Mix, right before we do the Eagles Academy sessions, feeding folks feeding our brothers and our sisters in our communities. Right here in the city of Detroit, Rosa Parks Transit Center. We'd love for you to join us. We'd love for you to donate to us so that we can be a blessing to other people. Food insecurity is at an all-time high. People don't know where their next meal is coming from. People don't know if they're going to have enough food to eat. 70% of the households in the city of Detroit are, Lord have mercy, functionally food insecure. Dysfunctionally food insecure. What did Jesus say in Matthew 25? When I was hungry, did you feed me? If you did it to the least of these, you did it unto me. We got to care for the least, the last, the lost, the left out, the overlooked, the underserved, and the underrepresented. Beyond our heart just going out to people, our hands have to go out to people. Feed no less than 100 people every single time that we touch down. Family, do you hear me? Your harvest is connected to the help that you offer other people. Oh, I want to talk to you. Your harvest is not just about name it and claim it, blab it and grab it, speak it and receive it. We're glad about that. But oftentimes your harvest is connected to who you help. And some of us, we are a hindrance to ourselves because we don't want to help nobody. Oh, but I love what the song said. I remember my grandfather, God rest her soul, my grandmother, God rest her soul, would always sing the song, if I can help somebody as I travel long, then my living shall not be in vain. Service is the rent you pay for the space that you occupy. And hear me, the rent is due every day. I got to put the negativity under my feet. I got to bring the negative thoughts so low so that I can glow. And I can also help other people to be the light. Come on. Come on, family. Drop some light bulb emojis in the chat. Let's do that. Let's do that again. Can I help you 1 minute today? Can I help you 1 minute? I want to help you with this. I want to talk about your harvest today. Again, we're having a super conversation. Drop a super chat. Drop a super sticker, family. Yeah. Channel for change. Channel that creates change. Channel that breaks chains. And of course, as you're watching In the Mix, don't tell me you're not a member of In the Mix. We got to change that. If you're not, tap the link in the description of this video. Tap the link in our live chat so that you can become a member of In the Mix. We're shifting you from where it is that you are to where you can be. And I'm sharing with you insight and information, revelation of what it is that I don't share anywhere else. Not even necessarily here in the free aspect of our YouTube channel. You can just get a badge for just as little as $9.99. Get one of those badges. I'm giving you access to our members only content, my members only area. Membership has its privileges. I want you to soar with me into our Eagles community. Yeah. Soar with me into our Eagles community. Go right now to theeaglesacademy.com. Theeaglesacademy.com, theeaglesacademy.com. When you get there, tap the join now button. Fill out the form. I guarantee you're going to be transformed. Here's one thing I realized, that your harvest begins with your head. Oh, your harvest begins with your head. Why? Because as a man thinketh in his heart, which is his mind, his self-concept, as he thinketh, my head, in his heart, so is he or she. You are what you think about. And hear me, whatever's going on in your mind is going to resonate in your spirit. I can't be conformed to this world. Here's where I got to be. I got to be transformed by the renewing of my mind. What is going on in your head? What are you thinking about? Hear me. Are you thinking about what you're thinking about? Yeah, I know that sounds like a twisted riddle. I know that sounds like a twisted question, but it's called metacognitive thinking. What do I mean by that? It means this, that you're conscientiously thinking about what you're thinking about. You're conscious enough to say, all right, what goes on in my mind, I got to filter it. Negative thoughts are going to come to your head is what you do with it. 70% of the thoughts that we think about each and every single day, according to researchers, are negative. It goes on to say 85% of the thoughts that we think, 85% of the things that we worry about don't even happen. Oh, I got to get my mind right. If you're going to pray, don't worry. If you're going to worry, might as well not even pray. You can't put more filters on your photo than you do on the thoughts that you think. You got to put a filter on the thoughts that you think. Putting filters on photos make you look better. At least you think you do. But putting filters on your mind make yourself think brighter, bigger, better, brighter. Why? So that you can keep on soaring higher. Makes you think smarter. Makes you do more. And here's the question. What's going on in your head? Come on now. What you really thinking about? Are you thinking about all the ways you're going to lose? Or are you thinking about how you're going to win? Because here's the thing. If you're going to have a harvest time, it speaks to what's taking place within the confines of your ears. It's speaking to what's taking place within your mind. Right? I got to think on these things that are positive. I got to not be thinking about the negative. I can't keep thinking about why I'm going to lose. I got to be thinking about why I'm going to win. You got to refuse to say, listen, man, I refuse to think defeat. I refuse to think doubt. I refuse to think dismay. I refuse to put myself and my thoughts into a place of mental discombobulation. I'm ejecting it from my mind. I don't know where it's going, but it can't live up in here, Why allow negativity to live in your head rent free? Why are you allowing what other people to say to replay in your mind? What other folks think about you ain't none of your business anyway. So why you keep going out of business thinking about what other people think about you? Most people don't even think at all. Why are you trying to chase down what people say about you? Why are you trying to chase down what Sally Sue and so and Pookie and Ray Ray said about you? Got to get the negative thoughts out of your head. Like they say in sports, get your head in the game. Come on, family. Got to get your head in the game. Family, tight focus on your focus. Tight focus on your focus. You are not thinking right now the way that you need to be thinking when you're thinking negative. Got to get your head in the game. You're not even thinking right now. Where you at? Where you at? You're physically present, but you're mentally absent. Get control of your mind. Get control of your thoughts. Get control of your ideas. Because if you're going to have a harvest, it first begins in your head. That's where it begins. Family, I got a few more points I'm going to give you. I want you to stick and stay. We got more on the way. Yeah, we surely do. Got more on the way. Don't touch that dial, smile. After these messages, I will be right back. Our schools are underfunded, teachers are underpaid, and our children are undereducated. Our classrooms, culture, curriculum, and communities are in crisis like never before. Education is the key, but the lock is broken. So how do we fix it? I'm so glad that you asked. I'm giving you strategies in my new book. It's my 17th book, by the way, called Strategies for Successful Schools. How to develop a diverse classroom of learners who read, lead, and succeed. This is a book that's available right now for our educational leaders. It's a must-read for school board members, parents, community advocates, transformative teachers, and yes, for those of you who desire to see our children lead and succeed. But not only that, so many of our young people are struggling with their academics, their mental well-being, limiting beliefs, procrastination, interpersonal trauma, and just feeling like they're hopeless. But what if there was a go-to guide to empower you to be a champion and our children to be a champion and empower them to overcome challenges? Here's the good news. I've got another book for you. It's my 18th one. Learners are Leaders, Strategies and Solutions for Student Success. It's got a 31-day journal in there. It's got affirmations, really a lot of valuable life lessons, ways to set smart goals for success, improve your mental well-being, foster academic success. So much more that is in store when you get not just one, but both of these books. They're both available right now on Amazon. Yeah, go get it right now. But also, you can get signed copies that are available at theeaglesacademy.com/books. Don't just get them for you, but also get them for someone else too. Yes, y'all, and we don't stop. Come on, family, I need you to heed to these resources that you have heard. Let's get back to the word. We're talking about healing is your harvest, how to be faithful and fruitful. And I got some books that are going to help you to be faithful and fruitful as well. They both went #1 on Amazon for a reason. Within 48 hours of each other. Whew. Dropped 2 books at one time. I don't know if I'll ever do that again. That sure enough was not for the faint of heart. But if you don't have my book, Strategies for Successful Schools, how to develop a diverse classroom of learners who read, lead, and succeed, go ahead and get that book on Amazon. Education is the key, but the lock is broken. Here it is. These are not just for teachers and administrators and school board leaders. It's for our parents. It's for our caring community members. It's for all those of you who want to see our children grow in our schools, not just survive, but thrive. Go get it on Amazon But you can also get a signed copy, theeaglesacademy.com/books. And then, Learners are Leaders. This is strategically written for all of our children, for our young people. Strategies and solutions for student success. Yeah, how to graduate to another level. Recognizing that there's a leader that's already on the inside of our children. And in many cases, they have to overcome stinking thinking that keeps them sulking and seeking. Stinking thinking that keeps them sulking and sinking. Procrastination, negative thoughts, the depression of what in many cases our young people are dealing with. Feeling like they want to unalive themselves. So many things that our young people are dealing with, and the trauma. We got to have trauma-informed education. Got to have trauma-informed instruction. We expect many of our children to learn, but they haven't eaten in 2 days. Many of our children haven't. Seeing that their brother, their sister, their family member, their loved one was shot down, killed, destitute, strung out. We got a lot to do. These books are going to help us to do that. Go ahead and get your copies now. Amazon, as well as theeaglesacademy.com/books. We're talking about it in the mix. Family, just type in the mix. I very rarely have you type that. But we mixing it up. Why don't you just type in the mix? And we're talking about healing is your harvest. How to be faithful and fruitful. Told you number one, your harvest is connected to your head. Secondly, here it is, your heart is connected to your harvest. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So here it is. The mind, there it is with the head, and the heart should be synchronized together. Oftentimes, your heart can take you where your mind can't keep you. And there it is a disassociation. I need interconnection. The Greeks define the word heart as leb. Leb is literally the seat of your emotions. It's really what it is and how it is that you think of yourself in totality. What goes on in here? What goes on in here? What goes on in here is an expression of what flows from here. Are you hearing me? What goes on in here, what goes on in here is an expression of what flows from here. Whatever's going on in my life is going to flow from my lips. Oh my goodness. I'm talking better than you typing back to me, family. Come on. What's the state of your heart? What's the state of your mind? Whose hands have your heart? Where is your heart at? Because here's the thing, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Whose hands have your heart? Whose hands did you place your heart in? Where's your heart? Whose hands is it in? Is your heart in a place of heartbreak? Is your heart in a place of a hater? Is your heart in a place of heartache? Is your heart in a place to where you're just handing over the reins of your life to other people, to where they can move you and groove you and wheel you and align you and misalign you all they want to and steer the course of your life? Are you is your heart in the hands of those who have maligned you, or is your heart in the hands of those who God has assigned to you? Is, more than anything, your heart in God's hands. Your heart should be so deep in God's hands that the person who wants you has to now seek God's hand and seek God's heart for your hand and for your heart. Got to have your heart in his hand. Why is that? Because as the deer panteth after the water, so my soul, so my heart, it longs after thee. Is your heart in money? Is your heart in notoriety? Is your heart in trying to impress people who are not even thinking about you? Is your heart in the things of this world? Is your heart in a place to say, God, beyond just your hands, I want your heart. I want more of you. Because here's the thing. So many times we seek in God's hand, but we're not seeking his heart. But here's the thing. When you seek God's heart, everything that's in his hand is already yours. Yeah, I'm not connected to God just so that I can use him. I'm connected to God because I choose to be with him. You get more out of me when you choose me than when you use me. Oh, who am I talking to? I hope it's you. I know it's you. Here's what David said. David said, create in me a clean heart. Oh God, renew your right spirit within me. And here's what we got to do. We have to have an inward cleansing of our heart. Our heart's got to be clean. Our spiritual psychology and the aspect of how it is that we think. Here's what our heart needs. Our heart needs a deep cleaning of the abscess, of the mess, of the trauma, of the strama. Yeah, stress induced by trauma. Stress induced trauma. Strama. Yeah, we got to really have a clean heart. Because guess what? Our words will be a lot cleaner. Our mindset will be cleaner. How we treat other people is going to be in a place to where we're clean. Hands are going to be cleaner. It's as Pops. I don't know if y'all remember Pops, the comedian, a.k.a. the late, great John Witherspoon. Yeah, God rest his soul. He would say, come on, y'all know Pops from the movie Friday. Pops from Boomerang. Pops from, here it is. Here's what he would say, from the rooter to the tutor. And that's what we need. We need our heart clean from the rooter to the tutor. We need a deep cleaning. When you really get to the place to where the ugly mess and the things of beyond you just blessed and I'm highly favored and I'm smiling, all this other particular things. There's a depth within us that God has to uproot the bitterness. He has to uproot the malice. He has to put the pride aside. He has to uproot the contempt. He has to uproot all of those things that lead to destruction and our distraction. He got to uproot conceit. He got to uproot jealousy. He got to uproot the backbiting. He got to uproot the negative attitude and the negative self-talk and the self-sabotage. Come on now. Let's be real about this thing. Our prayer has to be, Lord, I need you to create in me a clean heart. I need you to do a deep cleaning internally in me. Because here's the thing. If I'm going to have a harvest, it's got to be with a clean hand. It's got to be with clean hands. It's got to be with a clear head. And it's got to be with a clean heart. I need cleanliness and clarity. That's what it's got to be. I got to have my head right. I got to have my heart in the right hands. Do you understand? Hear me. If you're going to have a harvest, it begins with your head. A clear head. A clean heart. And hear me thirdly. Your harvest is dictated by your hands. Hands that bring hope bring your harvest. Why do I say that? Because here it is. The harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. And I want to just ask you, are you willing to put your hands to the plow for your harvest? Person who's putting their hands to the plow and looking back, not fit for the kingdom. I just can't have idle hands. Because the thing, here it is, most of us only use our hands just to get blessings. We use our hands only to receive, but we don't extend our hands to give. Oh, who am I talking to? Oh, it's tight, but it's going to be all right. The harvest is ripe, but the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. Here it is. The harvest is ripe if the laborers are ripe. Let me see. The harvest is ripe if the laborers are right. Oh, yeah. Because what is it to have bad laborers? They're just going to destroy what you've worked for to develop your harvest. Are you willing to put your hands to the plow for your harvest? I got to be a worker. I got to be a laborer. I got to be a plower. I got to be a developer if I expect to experience the harvest. One thing I remember, let me say this, remember, head, heart, hands lead to your harvest. I remember this, the height of COVID-19. What did they tell us? They told us put some hand sanitizer on. Told us to wash our hands for at least 30 seconds. I surely hope I surely hope that you haven't stopped using hand sanitizer. I surely hope that you're at least washing your hands for 30 seconds. I do hope that you're washing them. Right? All the way up to the wrist. Come on now. Right, you need to take precautions. Gotta take precaution. You need to make sure that your hands are clean. Right? If you're gonna have a harvest, you can't pick your harvest with dirty hands. Hear me. This harvest that you're gonna have, it's gonna be your biggest harvest yet. But this harvest that you're gonna have is gonna require sanity, and it's gonna require purity. It's going to require you sanitizing your head, your heart, and your hands. It's going to require you walking in a place of perpetual cleanliness. Oh, yeah, it's not scriptural, but it's metaphorical. What do we say? Cleanliness is next to godliness. It's not a scripture, y'all. But it is metaphorical after all. I got to check my harvest. I got to be clean from the inside out. I remember that Hezekiah Walker song. I remember singing in the choir back in the day. I was a real kid, little kid, knee-high to a duck. Won't he make you clean? Inside. Yeah. Won't he make you clean? That was a jam. But it's a reminder, here it is, that being clean is not just from the outside in, it's from the inside out. I want to have a pure harvest. But for me to have a pure harvest, I got to have a pure mind. I got to have a pure head. I got to have pure thoughts. I got to have a pure heart. I need pure hands. I need, hear me, it's not just something that's granted. It's something that has to be desired. I have to desire it. I have to want it. I have to go after it. Right? I have to move myself into a particular place to where it is that sometimes I have to isolate to elevate. I have to look at within my life, say, all right, what is this thing that is particularly distracting me? What is the particular thing that is distracting me from my destiny? I got to move away from it. I got to get rid of it. I got to pull away from it. I got to push it out of my life. I want to be at the center of the place of progress. I want to be in alignment with my divine assignment. And here's the thing about this. When your harvest is connected to your hands of hope, hands of healing, you got to take your hands off the hardship. Hear me. Your harvest is not just about what you're putting your hands on to get. Your harvest is about also what you're willing to give up. What are you willing to let go of in order to apprehend, grasp, and attain your harvest? Yeah, my harvest is not so much about what I can get. My harvest is about what is it that I'm willing to give up to get it. I want to talk to you. There are some things that you just have to take your hands off of. Your hands are too small to handle it. God's hands are big enough to deal with it. You're stressing. You're compressed. You're depressed. You're oppressed. You're repressed. Simply because you're not pressing toward the mark for the prize of the high calling. You're sitting here dealing with all of these specific issues and ailments and all these things and all about why it won't work. And you're holding on to and grappling what you were never designed to hold in the first place. Got to put in the sweat equity with your hands. Got to put in the sweat equity with your heart. And for many of us, hear me, we are outworked by people who have one hand. We are outworked by people who have no hands. Why would you let somebody with just one hand? Why would you let somebody with no hands outwork you? Come on. Because of the fearfulness you have. Because of the laziness that's within you. because of the procrastination. The help that you need the most is at the end of your wrist. I want to ask you, are you stirring up your gifts with your hands? Paul told the timid Timothy to stir up the gift. Come on. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give your gift away. Your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. What are you doing to increase the knowledge in your head, the wisdom in your heart, and the gifts in your hands? Come on, what God gave you as a gift, how you use that gift as a gift back to God. I hope it's not a curse simply because you refuse to use it. You got to refuse to lose it. Yeah, instead of refusing to use it, you got to refuse to lose it. Got to use what God gave you. Because here's the thing, what I realized at the end of the day, nothing's stopping you but you. You're going to either be a liability to yourself or you're going to be an asset. And generally, if you're a liability to yourself, you're going to be a liability to other people. If you are an asset to yourself, you're going to be an asset to other people. You're going to empower other people to move their life to another level. Come on, family, let's go to another level. Hit the thumbs up button on this video. Hit the thumbs up button on this video. Hit the subscribe button as well. If you have not shared this video, share this with somebody. Share if you care. Your timeline could be someone's lifeline. As you tune into our channel for change, our channel that creates change, our channel that breaks change, drop a super chat, drop a super sticker. We're having a super conversation. If you're not a part of our Eagles community, go right now to theeaglesacademy.com. When you get there, tap the join now button, fill out the form, be transformed. How you just going to watch In the Mix, but you're not a member of In the Mix? Tap the link in the chat, link in the description of this video. Become a member of our In the Mix channel. Become not just a supporter, become a partner. And hear me, when you talk about the harvest in your hands, here's what it is. It's a spiritual stick up. It's hands up. What you got to do, you got to put your hands up to say, Lord, clean me up. You got to say, listen, I'm surrendering. I'm submitting. I want my harvest to know that it was nobody else who did it but God. I'm throwing my hands up because I'm getting rid of what it is that I was holding on to. I'm letting it go. I'm letting go of the lies. I'm letting go of the trauma. I'm letting go of the triggers. I'm letting go of the negative childhood development. I'm letting go of the abuse. I'm letting go of the breakup. I'm letting go of the heartbreak. I'm letting go of the divorce. I'm letting go of the bad deeds. I'm letting go of the bad choices. I'm letting go so that I can grow. That's what it is. Come on, family, just type double portion. Type double portion. Type double portion. It's your season for double. It's your season for double. For all that you've been through, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for my good. I'm getting double for all my trouble. To pursue, to overtake, to recover all is my season for overflow. It's my season to where my relationships are going to be healthy. It's my season to where my finances are going to work for me. It's my season to where healthy marriages are going to continue to survive and strive, and not just survive, but thrive. Healthy marriages are going to spawn. Healthy marriages are going to last long. New doors are opening in ministry. New doors. To where here it is. You're going to be blessed so much to where you're going to you have no choice but to be a blessing to somebody else. It's not enough if I can just be blessed by myself. It's about, I want a harvest that's so big, I got to share it. I want a harvest that's so big, here it is, I got to level up. So I can bless my enemies, so I can bless my haters, so I can be good to people who were never good to me. Why? Because this is not about me, it's bigger than me. I know you meant it for evil, but God meant it for my good. God turned it around. I'm Joseph. I told you the dream. You try to hate on me, but here it is. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for my good. Hear me. God had to elevate you to let you know that the dream is not going to turn into a nightmare. Your vision is not going to be aborted. The dream that you have is going to become your reality. You are Joseph. You are a new school Nehemiah. It's your time to build. It's your time to dream bigger than ever before. It's your time because it's not your time of Halloween. It's your time of harvesting. Come on, family. Type is my time. Type is my time. Type is my time. Type I receive it. Type is my time. Type I receive it. I receive the blessings. I receive the overflow. I receive the next level. I receive the opportunity to be a blessing to somebody else. I receive the opportunity to give back. I receive the next doors. I receive the next dimension. I receive the next level. I received the opportunity to be a laborer because I'm one of the few. The harvest is ripe. The laborers are few. I'm one of the few to go and get it. Come on, family, type go and get it. It's that never quit it. It's that go and get it. It's that level up. Come on. And here's the thing. As you labor, God is bringing the increase and the favor. Oh, come on, family, type it. Type increase, type favor. As you labor, God is bringing the increase and the favor. Your past can't stop it. No enemy can interrupt it. Nobody can block it. You're not going to even get in the way of it. Come on, because sometimes it's not your hater. Sometimes it's not nobody hating on you. Sometimes it's not an enemy. It's you that's in the way of your own destiny. But no. You getting out of your own way, and you're going to allow God to make a way out of no way. Because what God has for you, and I don't know about you, but it's the harvest for me. Come on. Yeah, God is very demure. He's very mindful of you. What is man that thou art mindful of him? He's mindful of you. And that's why your harvest is going to produce the biggest yield. But hear me, your harvest will produce the biggest yield. Your harvest will produce the greatest yield if you yield. Come on, family, type yield. Yield is saying, yeah, I know this other person on the road of life has the right of way, but I'm going to let them go that way. I'll yield. I'll fall back. It don't take nothing from me. I'm going to still get to my destination safely. Yield is saying, I submit. Yield is saying, here it is, I surrender. Oh, are you willing to surrender the negative thinking? Are you really willing to surrender emotional snipers? Are you willing to surrender? Yeah. Limited beliefs. Are you willing to surrender? Emotional squatters. Are you willing to surrender? Sulking, stinking thinking that keeps you sinking and shrinking. Are you willing to surrender all the reasons why it won't work? Why? Because here it is. You will produce your greatest yield if you just yield. And there can be no harvest if your head isn't right. If you don't have the right thoughts in your head. There can be no harvest if your heart isn't right. If you don't have any love in your heart, there can be no harvest. If your hands aren't on the plow, if your hands aren't clean, there can be no harvest. Hear me. If there is no seed in the ground. I want you to sow into this word that you've heard. It's not as a debt that you owe, it is a seed that you sow. Seed time and harvest time. And here it is. A writer never runs out of books. A singer never runs out of songs. A speaker never runs out of messages. A giver never runs out of money. A farmer never runs out of seed. And I know that your seed is going to meet the need that is in your life. I would that you would sow into this word that you've heard. This is good ground, family. It's good ground. The work that we're doing is not just online, it's offline. We got receipts. We continue to show our work, feeding those who are insecure, food insecure, who would be deemed to be the least, the last, the lost, the left out, the overlooked, the underserved, and the underrepresented, when so many people would look down on them simply because they may not smell the right way, dress the right way, live the right way. No, we look out for them. We don't look down on them. We look out for them. The seeds that you sow help us to do that work. The seeds that you sow help us to support mentoring for our young boys and My Boys to Books program, empowering our brothers to read, lead, and succeed, literacy, leadership, life skills enrichment. The seeds that you sow help us to broaden our broadcast, to go into cities and communities, nations, neighborhoods, and nations. You can help us to do that. I would that you would sow a seed into this word that you've heard. It's your harvest time. Time to plant. Plant into good ground that's going to reap 30, 60, 100 fold. And I'm joining my faith to yours, that God does the exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask or even think. You can sow via Cash App, $Access Identity, PayPal, Zelle, EddieConnorJr at Gmail. We've been having super conversation. Drop a super chat, drop a super sticker. Link is in the chat. Link is in the description of this video. Cash App, $Access Identity, PayPal, Zelle, EddieConnorJr at Gmail. And I want to thank you for sowing into good ground. I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted at all. But I pray that God anoints you and increases every area and aspect of your life, because healing is your harvest. As long as you're faithful, I guarantee you, you're going to be fruitful. If you yield, you will produce the greatest yield. Family, if you're not a member of In the Mix, I do want you to become a member. Become a member of In the Mix. Partner with me. Yeah, and you can do that simply by tapping the link in the description of this video. Link is in the chat. You can get a badge for just as little as $9.99. And it gives you access into my members area that I know will be a blessing to you. Another thing I realized too, that our Eagles community is continually growing. We have a Grace for Growth that is on our community. And I want you to be a part of it so that you can experience that type of growth in your business, that type of growth in your relationships, that type of growth in your ministry and in your interpersonal development. It's not about specifically what you know. It's about, in many cases, who you know. And it's about knowing what you don't know that empowers you to grow. Join my mentorship group. A teacher can take what they've learned in decades and give it to you in days. Mentors can take what they've learned in moments and months and give it to you in minutes. And that's what I do for you. Go right now to theeaglesacademy.com. I want to transform your level of thinking and your growth. Theeaglesacademy.com, theeaglesacademy.com, theeaglesacademy.com. When you get there, tap the Join Now button. Fill out the form. I guarantee you will be transformed. Family, did you enjoy this today? Were you empowered by this session today? Come on, keep it real with me. Were you empowered by the session today? I surely do hope so. Because family, In the Mix is out of time. But y'all know I'm not out of truth. And so I want to thank you for rocking with me. I want to thank you for riding with me. I really do want to thank you for rolling with me. Why? Because that's just how we roll. And we roll together each and every single weekday, Monday through Friday, for In the Mix. Right here on the YouTube side. Make sure while you're here to like, comment, share, subscribe. Come on, hit the thumbs up button. Yes, we mix it up with the YouTube side, but also on our sister satellite stations on social media. And I give you a sincere salute for tuning in. But I just got a question for you. Are you my friend? Are we locked in? Come on, are we? Then step this way, step that way. Yes, step this way, step that way. Which way? By friending me, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. And we don't stop at EddieConnorJr. Come on, family, put some respect on my name. EddieConnorJr. I'll keep showing love. I'm going to keep showing up. And I'd love you to show up. I'd love for you to show up. I'm personally inviting you to receive an empowering word each and every Sunday. Yeah. As I am the pastor of the Remnant Worshipers Church, come every Sunday, 10 a.m. And then we also have Bible studies, 7 p.m. I know that you're going to be empowered. You're going to be impacted. I'm saving you a seat, 20470 Hubble Street. That's where I'm saving you a seat. I would love to see you there at one of our services. If I can help you, if I can serve in any way, don't hesitate. Please reach out to me. Get any of my books on Amazon and theeaglesacademy.com. These are my 2 latest books, my 17th and my 18th books. Learners and Leader Strategies for Successful Schools. Of course, theeaglesacademy.com/books. I can sign it for you if you go and order it there. And then also, Amazon. You're going to find the reading to be amazing. If you're looking for a dynamic speaker, family, now why would you look any further? You know that I'm the man for the job. So invite me to speak at your church, your conference, your community center, your school, your graduation, your session. Let's make some progression. All you have to do is email me to invite me. info@EddieConnor.com. And it would be an honor for me to empower you. Sure, truly, Dr. Eddie, your main man, 100 grand, your brother. And I mean that from another mother. Family, it's been fun, but you know, brother, gotta run. So I want you to know it's been a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy. Yes, it has been beyond measure. But I want you, yes, you, I'm talking to you now, to remember to keep the faith and believe it's going to be bigger, better, brighter. Peace and a whole lot of love. Keep soaring higher. Family, there is power in partnership, and we are better together, which is why I am on a mandated mission to activate 30, yes, 30 new action takers who are ready to soar beyond their limits. I'm ready to develop and deploy you into your gifts and your greatness. Now, are you ready? Well, get activated by joining the Eagles Academy, where we cultivate your gifts and your talents to become the greatest version of yourself. And we do this through weekly mastermind sessions where you receive strategies for exponential growth with self-paced Eagles Nest reflections that include personalized feedback to transform you, to renew your mindset, to empower you to take action and actualize your purpose. Are you an action taker? If so, today I ask you, are you ready to answer the call? Well, great. Then visit theeaglesacademy.com and become a member. For only $24.99, you will unlock unlimited knowledge and resources that will launch you and catapult you into the greatest version of yourself. I invite you to the winner's circle. On your mark, get set, go right now to theeaglesacademy.com and seize this moment.